One more.
I'm Tamara.
I'm Rell.
And this is Fearful Friends Podcast.
Oh,
Oh no.
my knee. Okay.
Can you not
Up
break
and over.
my house?
My table. Actually, it's your table. It is your table. But it is my house. Wow, that was a rough start, everyone.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. I sometimes move my legs like an amputee with a prosthetic.
Yeah.
Sorry, I've also been watching a lot of Dexter. I've got prosthetics on the mind, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Wink, wink.
Ew, no. The ice truck killer? Have you never watched Dexter?
I have. You think I remember that? All I remember is like plastic on walls and him dumping bodies in the ocean.
Yeah, that's like the summary of the show. You've missed all the nuances. What is that noise?
He had a kid. I remember that.
Eventually. Spoilers! I'm only in season 2 of my 5th rewatch.
So what's been up, man? How's your daughter?
What?
Sorry, that's an Eminem lyric.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, he didn't say it,
Well,
but
I don't listen to Eminem, so. I know. Blasphemy.
yeah.
I was trying to think of a really quirky line from a band that you don't listen to, but there's just too many.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Are we in a weird place today? I'm in a very weird place today.
Feels weird. That's because I have a uterine parasite.
Mm-hmm. Is that how we're going to do this?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
I've had this parasite for
Still calling it a parasite.
about
Can't wait for it to grow up in here.
9 weeks now.
Tamara's pregnant.
Yep. Finally. Finally.
Now we can blame all her on-air snacking on fetus.
Yeah. It's been a little rough.
A little?
Not rough like it was with that was
Well, no, you had like gallstones and shit
that was hell on earth.
and everything else.
This has been a lot easier.
Yeah. Well, has it?
Yes.
It's just a different kind of hell.
Yeah.
Now you're just like never not hungry.
I'm hungry and nauseous.
Before you were just like sick all the time.
Yeah.
Now you're just like, jeez,
I'm hungry.
that is one hungry parasite.
And if I can't eat, I'm going to throw up. I threw up at work today. Just got a little gag in me and
Just right in the garbage can.
Yeah.
And then she tells me, it's okay. I sanitized the doorknob where I splashed a little and I almost fucking like died. Ugh.
you know when you just like gag and you just get that taste in your mouth, and so it was not
heartburn. It's every day. It's happening right now because I'm drinking wine,
Good. Yeah.
which is something you can't do.
I don't like wine.
To be fair, she never drank before.
Yeah, but it's the edibles I can't take.
Yeah, or Advil,
Yeah.
or
Sushi or lunch meat.
digestive enzymes,
Yeah.
any kind of mushrooms.
I can't have mushrooms.
I don't know.
I guess if you cook them, it's okay.
What about like reishi?
I don't even know what that is.
It's
So
like
I'm
for calming or something.
Reiki,
Reishi.
ashwagandha.
Yeah, that's one of them. Lion's mane. What's another one? Turkey tail.
Now you're just saying shit.
No, that's an actual mushroom. I actually just ordered one today.
You're naming mushrooms, okay?
Yes. You thought I was just randomly rambling off animals?
No, I thought you were talking about different like supplements you can take.
Well, they are supplements. So is lion's mane, reishi, chaga, all those that you see in those fancy beverages these days. I ordered some mushroom hot chocolate today.
I feel like
how
we
it
need to
is.
stop talking about mushrooms, please.
Are you going to throw up again? Did I just totally like steal your pregnancy thunder by talking about mushrooms?
I just would like to not any longer.
Oh, is that a trigger?
It's grossing me out.
Let me tell you a little bit about mycelium. Would you like to know about mycelium?
No, you want to learn about my cellulite?
Don't slap it.
Oh my God. The pregnancy rage has been so bad.
I know. She kidnapped me to go to Tropical Smoothie today.
That was not rage. I needed that. And I just needed you.
Because you're codependent, yes.
Yeah. The other day, I was pulling out of a parking spot, and you know, like the angled spots?
Yeah.
And like, I watched someone with my backup camera, as I'm already backing up, because I can see you in my backup camera, turn down the street and then speed up to me. Like, I was backing up before you were ever on the street. Honk at me.
Because they want your fucking spot.
No. Because they didn't want me backing up any further. They were trying to go. And they don't want to wait for,
10 fucking seconds.
the soccer mom to finish backing her fat van up. So I pulled forward, let them go around me, and then like tailgate followed them all the way to their street.
You did that?
I followed someone home because I was so angry.
What would you have done if they had stopped?
Well, so it was like a lady.
So because it was a lady, you weren't afraid? Bitches be loco.
What if she would have stopped? What? I just would have kept driving.
What if she had a gun?
She just so happened to live in my neighborhood, so it was kind of like just happenstance, and I was just right up on her.
Sure, that'll
bumper.
hold up in the court of
And
law.
she kept looking at me in her rearview mirror, and I'm like, I was so angry. Like, how can you do that? Pisses me off so much.
Picture you tailgating someone. The speed that you drive does not compute. We were going 30 miles an hour all the way to Tropical Smoothie, and I was stressed. I was like, Tamara, the speed limit's 40.
It was unfamiliar. And where I was driving, the speed limit is 20.
And
the
how
neighborhood.
fast were you going?
I don't
10?
know. I don't know, but fuck. She learned her lesson. I scared the fucking shit out of her.
Did she?
Don't fucking honk at me. I was backing up before you were ever on the street. You were being rude and impatient. So yes, I scared her.
People are cunts.
She was like speeding to get away from me at all, like the four-way stops. Yeah. I just kept right up behind her.
That's vigilante justice right there.
So unhinged.
I've wanted to do that, but I am too I'm just too scared. You never know how somebody's gonna react.
I know. I just the area that I live in, and like the little women. She didn't have a gun.
You don't know that.
Well, you know what? Even if she did, what is she gonna do? Fire behind her?
Shoot you.
Behind her?
She could have pulled her car over, gotten out, and said, "Hey, bitch, look at this. Look at my tiny little whatever. It's like one of those clutch guns, the little itty bitty baby ones."
I would have just driven away. If she would have gotten as far to park her car, I'd driven away already.
And then just flick her off the whole way.
Yeah.
I think everybody needs to undergo new driver's ed courses. Update them. Red light means stop. Yellow light means prepare to stop. Don't run the light. And when I come to a stop at a yellow light,
don't you dare honk at me.
No, they fucking speed around me to run the red. And they're these people are gonna fucking kill somebody. And it better not be me. I'm not totaling another fucking car.
So yes, I'm birthing
Twins.
No.
I was kidding. It was confirmed. It's just one little parasite.
I was going to play a trick on you, but I figured it was just too mean. You
were going to make me think it was twins?
I was going to do a report all about crazy twin stuff. And then
you kind of did a report on triplets a while back. That would have been a good time to get pregnant. Jeez.
And then I was going to tell you the whole reason I did this report on twins. Surprise. Just totally fuck with you.
That would not have been nice.
I know.
That's anchor baby someone.
How
are you anchor babying me?
How?
Because now I can't leave you.
You can't leave me anyway.
Because you're with child.
Yeah.
Child's.
Just the one.
Just the one.
Well, on that note, I have to pee.
We're back from pee break. I did almost hit my knee again. But we got it.
I'm really out of breath.
I'm stuck.
Okay.
Oh, boy. Ah!
this on YouTube.
No.
Call me hot, not pretty.
Call me gassy. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
So what's next for you?
Like in life?
I don't know, like, I guess regarding this bombshell you just laid on us. Are you breathing? Is that you breathing?
Yeah.
Can you not breathe directly into the microphone?
Can you not breathe?
Why don't you do what I do? Put it just off to the side. Instead
I'm
of
out of breath. I had to jump over that giant gate in the door.
It's 2 feet tall.
So am I.
Just high enough to keep a palma poo out of the room.
Oh my gosh, this tropical smoothie is like I just love it.
Can anybody else agree with me that $7 for a smoothie is just too much?
Oh, I agree with you completely.
Buy a banana, buy a pineapple, and buy some strawberries.
It's not as good.
Yes, it is.
Mm-mm. No, because
You just have to have the right blender.
All their artificial crap in it.
But that's not good for you.
It doesn't matter. Neither is an entire jar of what's that cheese curd stuff
What
called?
did you eat an entire jar of? Tamara?
Curd. Cheese curd. What is that?
Cottage cheese?
Cottage cheese.
I love cottage cheese.
Yeah,
I too eat an entire 16-ounce container.
16 ounces.
It's easy to do.
In the middle of the night.
It's a slippery slope. Like, I have to force myself to use like a little baby spoon, because if I use a big spoon, I'll just be like, I'll be like that cat in those videos where he just like opens his mouth as wide as he can and just takes a big bite of food. You've never seen those. You're looking at me like I'm crazy.
I'm like that cat that like smells something and gags. Have you seen that cat? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's me.
I live with that cat. His name is Murphy, but he's a dog.
Yeah. That's my life, guys.
Tell you what, it's going to be a rough couple of months.
Yeah.
For me, specifically.
Yep, it's really
dealing
hard on
with
her
this
when
nightmare
I see her for 2 hours a week. Everyone pray for Rell. She's gonna...
God, come on, let's get together.
Mm-hmm.
Put your hands in. Teamwork. We'll get through this. I guess if you have any prayers left over, you can send them to Tamara. No, she's good.
I'm good.
What else do you want to talk about? More fetus stuff?
What?
More fetus stuff? Fetus? Sometimes people spell fetus with an A.
Oh, fetus. Oh my god.
Like fay.
I thought you were
like
saying fat ass. I'm like rude. I'm like, I'm going to give you
drinking a smoothie.
one more chance to say that.
Fetus. No, like sometimes it's kind of like how they say faces. Like sometimes they spell it with an A.
Feces?
Yeah, sometimes they spell it with an A.
No.
Yes. Google it.
You're imagining things.
I'm not.
I think you need to get on some medication.
I'm on medication.
Not wine.
It's called winking owl.
That's
I'm
what I
winking.
call my... I'm so sorry. That was...
Stop breathing into the microphone. Move it to the side. Look at that. I couldn't even hear that yawn. That's how it's done.
I have been snoring so bad at night, too.
I'm eating a new pillow.
No, I think it's just, all the extra stuff going on.
What does that have to do with snoring? I didn't realize that
Just my
babies
breathing
affected
is,
your
like,
sinuses.
So much harder.
You might need to get that looked at.
No, it's normal. My diaphragm...
Trouble breathing?
My diaphragm has already been moved up right underneath my lungs, and it's squishing them already.
How? It's so early.
That's what happens. Your body gets ready.
It's been like 2 months.
I don't make the rules on pregnancy. That's just what happens.
I feel like that's stuff that happens like 6 months in.
6 months in, you start feeling like a busted can of biscuits and you can't eat anything because your stomach's so compacted. But like now
You're painting a beautiful picture.
You're like filled with all this extra blood, and like my resting heart rate you can see it was like 60. And then like the day I found out I was pregnant, it's been up at 90 ever since. And hasn't gone back down because I've been so...
Is that like what preeclampsia is?
No, that's when you have like blood pressure issues.
But that could be a blood pressure issue.
No, it's
elevated
normal.
heart rate.
It's normal. Your resting heart rate will change because you're filled with so much more blood.
Ugh.
50%
Big
more
old blood blister. Don't knock in anything sharp.
Yeah.
You know, pop. Sorry. That's insensitive.
I am so out of breath just sitting here.
Are you sure that's normal?
Yeah.
Okay. Did this happen in your first pregnancy?
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember you being out of breath all the time.
Well, I wasn't breathing directly in a microphone a lot then.
You know what? That's true. Maybe I wasn't noticing.
Yeah.
Did we live together then?
Briefly.
Yeah. Yes, you were pregnant when you moved out. I remember that.
Yeah.
Because you were like, I timed that perfectly.
Yeah, moving
Now
out of
Rich
a third,
has to move everything for me.
third floor. Hell yeah. In July. So, anything new with you? Any new parasites?
In me? No.
You could just be a surrogate.
A surrogate?
Surrogate?
Who's Sarah?
Surrogate?
I don't want my bones shifting. I don't want my teeth falling out. I don't need any more hair loss. I'm already a crazy bitch. I don't need any more crazy hormones.
I just want you
I know you want me to get pregnant so that I can just like go to fast food places with you and not judge you.
I just want you to know what I'm feeling so that when I need tropical smoothie, you're not like, I can make it in my kitchen for you.
I
You
can
don't
literally,
understand.
I have all of those frozen fruits
You
in my freezer.
do
I
not
can make you
understand.
one mean
No.
smoothie. And
No.
I have all the fancy powders and everything you could imagine
No.
that could make it a boom superfood smoothie.
No, I don't want a superfood smoothie. I want the freaking tropical smoothie crap. Yeah. You are like the mom that's like, you're driving past McDonald's and like, I want McDonald's. You're like, we have food at home.
I'm ask Matt. Every time he wants to go out, I'm like, nope, we just spent too much money this week. We have to, I got us some Caesar salads on manager special for 50 cents. We have to eat the salads first. Which I did. They're in the fridge right now. That's my dinner tonight.
She tried to get me to eat a Caesar salad too, instead of going to tropical smoothie. It's like you don't even know me.
It's not like I make it healthy. Okay, I put fucking air fryer chicken tenders on top of that chicken salad with extra cheese.
All right, we need to talk.
And croutons.
You're grossing me out.
Why am I grossing
I don't
you
know.
out?
I don't make the rules. It's just
Are you going back to having a chicken aversion? Didn't you have a chicken aversion?
I had an everything aversion.
Oh, that's fair. Well, do you have a foot aversion?
Do you ever like crave something and like,
Yes.
okay. So
I'm
you're,
not
like,
an animal.
craving like a Wendy's burger or something.
Yeah.
And like, no, Rell. Well,
You know what I do?
we'll have it at home.
I just eat something at home.
So, but if you're like having a specific craving and then someone's like, no, we're not, let's just go eat this instead. And you're like, well, that thing that you're telling me makes me feel sick. And you're not like, no, we're going to go do this. Like, you don't get that?
I didn't force you to eat the Caesar salad.
But I needed to eat something.
Tropical smoothie's not eating. You're drinking sugar.
It's better than the Diet Coke that I wanted to drink.
That is true. That is true. Why are we fighting? Mom.
I just want you to understand, Mom. It's not a phase.
I mean, I get like cravings when I'm on my period, but like I also just don't like going out and spending money unless like, Matt and I like go out to eat.
I don't do any of that stuff.
See? Okay. I don't pay for that anyway. Although I did last night. We went to a movie last night.
Oh, that's
Don't
getting
recommend.
expensive.
Well, matinees aren't bad. It was like under $10 for a matinee. We did not go to a matinee, and it was $35.
A matinee?
Yes, like the early birds.
Don't y'all go to work?
I get off at 1 some days.
I know, I'm just messing with you.
Are you ready to tell me your story? I feel like we've been recording for like 20 minutes.
Write a story.
You want to play a game?
What game?
Blocks. Sorry. Ugh.
Get your man out of your chest.
No, it was like, I get like weird smoker's cough every now and then, even though I haven't smoked a cigarette since too
So,
long. Go ahead. I'm
Okay.
ready. Can I guess?
Yeah. Yes, I'd like to hear this.
Go on. Sorry.
Soon after the end of World War II, on December 5th, 1954, 6 military planes and 27 crew members disappeared during a training flight from the Fort Lauderdale Naval
Great.
from the Fort Lauderdale Naval Air Station. Known simply as Flight 19, no wreckage, bodies, or debris from these planes have ever been found of the lost patrol. Before World... It's so hard for me to say this. World War.
You can just say WW2. Like, like Bush.
Yeah. WW.
WW2.
Before World War...
WW2.
Fort Lauderdale was empty land, still part of the Everglades, but it became a huge naval air base that housed over 2,500 military officials, pilots, machinists, gunnists, and weapons specialists.
Is it machinists or mechanists?
I never know.
I never know either.
I'm going with machinist.
Okay, that's fine.
The Fort Lauderdale Airport is located where the now defunct air base used to be.
I've been there.
Yeah. It's a goodie.
Nobody asked.
It's a goodie.
It's fine.
Remnants of the military buildings can still be seen on the outer edge of the airport, and a Naval Air Museum holds tours of the base. I don't know where it is. It was unclear. Is it there? Because they were like saying that the buildings were like defunct, and I'm like, wait, now there's a museum. I didn't understand it, but
Yeah, you probably tore the defunct buildings.
but those aren't museums. Okay, we're gonna move on.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love a museum, though.
Me too. I want to be a tour guide.
We know.
A haunted tour.
We know. Tamara, the overexcited ghost. Tour guide. Or ghost. Who knows?
Okay.
She's overly excited to be both.
Yeah. Museums are so quiet.
Oh, it is nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
No screaming kids. Anywhere.
Except for a children's museum. Now that's terrifying.
I don't go there.
That is fucking terrifying.
Hell, even when we went to Kennedy Space Center, too many screaming kids. Ruined the whole experience.
Is a lot of that indoors?
Yeah, like 95% of it. It's fucking fun. You should go.
I haven't been since I was a kid and I went to space camp.
Aw, so cute.
Yeah.
Well, now they have like all the cool like SpaceX stuff there and like the Saturn blah blah. I don't know what number we're on.
Saturn
70.
blah blah.
I don't know.
Okay. On the day the planes disappeared, there were 18 other training missions that had successfully run their patrol and returned. Flight 19 took off around 3 in the afternoon. The 5 Avenger bomber planes, led by Lieutenant Charles Taylor, were assigned to fly east from Fort Lauderdale to the Bahamas, where they were practicing bombing on a sunken ship. They were then to fly north over Grand Bahama Island before heading back southwest to Fort Lauderdale. So they were supposed to fly in a triangle, basically.
I think we need to buy a whiteboard
Okay.
for the room.
Yeah.
Then
We could paint those with like whiteboard paint.
no, I'm not painting my doors.
Hey, it wouldn't look any different. They're already white.
I don't want color all over my doors, but a whiteboard and we could just draw the maps and stuff.
Yeah, because we're visual people.
We are. She's got her fingers in the air, and I'm just like following them, like, whoa, where are we going?
So we're going from Fort Lauderdale to
There's
the
the finger.
Bahamas.
There we go. Then we're going up. Then we're going back down.
Yeah, but we're closing. We're going like diagonal because we're closing.
You mean like a triangle?
Yes.
Oh, the math of love triangles isn't hard to learn. Na, 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 na. It's from Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, Tamara.
Oh.
Get with it. Also, side note, did you know they're taking it off Netflix? I'm really upset about it.
When?
I don't know. I just saw it in one of my Crazy Ex-Girlfriend groups. Yes, I'm in a group.
What? Some things need to remain
Big
secrets,
fan.
okay?
Big fan.
Oh,
Needed
God.
to find other people who understood me because you don't.
Okay. I'm going to pray for you when I leave. Okay.
Do it now.
So, Lieutenant Charles was a seasoned pilot who had over 2,000 flight hours and multiple combat tours during World War II in the Pacific. WW.
So he was probably in Pearl Harbor.
Yep. In the
Totally.
Pacific.
I know stuff about history. You just don't know what I know.
Yeah, because you're
I'm 90% sure it was in 1942.
I want to say 44. Give it a goog. Watch us be both like really off. You look like such an old lady.
I can't figure out how to use a microphone. What year was Pearl Harbor? 1941. I was close.
You were. You won.
Thank you.
Okay. What year was the Declaration signed?
1776.
Yeah, good job.
Oh my God. I only know that because my parents, my in-laws got their dog on the 4th of July or something like that. And they were only charging $17.76 for adoptions.
That's adorable.
That dog was supposed to be ours. And they took it.
Do you need another dog?
It was a while ago.
Okay.
That was before we got Lulu. Now my hands are full.
Yeah.
And my heart. I don't have room in there for another one. My heart's closed.
Her dog walks on its 2 back feet, and it's really, really creepy.
Yeah, but the thing is like everybody's just like, oh, your dog is not your kid. She's basically a fucking toddler. She walks on her hind legs. She gets into things. She's tripping all over the place. She won't shut her damn mouth.
She puts things in her mouth that she shouldn't.
Yep, she's a toddler. She's real lippy. She copies my yawn. She yawns like me. And sometimes I swear to God she talks. The other day she meowed. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. She was in her pen and I woke up and she went meow.
I think you also have a skinwalker.
I don't know. At least she's cute. Carry on. So sorry that I keep interrupting. We're still in like the first sentence.
The weather that day was reported to be favorable for flight, with only scattered showers predicted. This training mission was expected to be less than 2 hours. The first leg of the flight went smoothly, and they dropped the bombs and headed north. Around 90 minutes into the flight, Charles radioed into base control tower. They expected communication from Charles for his landing instructions. Instead, they received the message that the patrol was lost. Charles says, "Cannot see land. We seem to be off course."
Did they have GPSs back then?
No.
Ew.
They had radios. Base tower responds, "What is your position?" Several minutes of silence go by.
So they have like latitude, longitudes.
Yes.
That's like GPS.
They're like 7.5 degrees.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
I think that's latitude. Latitude. That's not how you say that. Latitude, longitude.
Yes.
Vagitude.
That's exactly what I was.
So that's like, yeah, early GPS. So they knew, well, they don't know where they are, but like they have tracking capability.
Right. Staff in the tower searched the horizon for the incoming planes from the northeast as expected to help instruct them. Finally, Charles responds, "We cannot be sure where we are. Repeat, cannot see land." Then the base lost contact with the patrol for over 10 minutes before they received another radio transmission from Charles' patrol. But this time the message was from one of the crew members.
Oh, God.
The unnamed pilot reported, "We cannot find west. Everything is wrong. We cannot be sure of any direction.
I know how to find west.
Everything looks strange, even the ocean."
Ew.
Yeah.
I was just going to say never eat soggy watermelons.
Oh, I was going to say fly towards the sun because it's, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Anyway.
What direction is that?
Where does the sun set, Rell?
Oh. Listen.
I'm listening.
Directions are hard.
Yeah.
I need a compass at all times.
Have you heard, some people can differentiate left and right as easily as they can differentiate up and down?
Yeah.
No.
Yes,
No.
it's very easy. Left, right.
No. That's not true. Up and down,
Yes.
left and right. No.
Just think about your whatever hand you write with. It's that easy. It's right, left, right, left.
I know, but like when I'm in the car and you're like, what way do you turn? And I'm like, ah,
I say left, and then what way do you go?
left. But still, I have to panic for a
You
minute.
hesitate?
If you were like up, I'd be like, yeah, up is that way. I know.
Up into the sky.
But you're like, right. And I'm like, ah. Anyway.
Okay. Well, just learned something new about you.
I am really good at north, south, east, west direction wise.
See, and I'm not. I get turned around so easily. Like, watch. I've done this before, and I still don't remember. I'm going to tell you which way this window's facing. Here's my process.
I could tell you right now it's facing
Don't.
west.
You just ruined it.
I know.
Okay, here's my process. My driveway goes that way, and then I'm going to go that way. No, wait. Hold on. Because I don't know where the sun sets in relation to my house. So US 1's that way.
Let's not
And that goes
triangulate
north and south.
where you are.
So if that's north, never eat.
No, ma'am. Eat is over there.
Sorry.
Where's the beach?
I don't know. Matt does this to me all the time. He goes, which way's the ocean, dipshit? And I'm like, I don't know where I am. Because then it's which way is the ocean, dipshit? And then I go, okay, so I go out my driveway. Right? And then I make a left. And then I take US 1. And the ocean is across US 1. So that's my process.
Wow.
Every time.
So I go out my driveway.
Literally.
Okay. Now we both proved how stupid and dumb and smart we are.
Sorry.
She's crying.
disgusting.
There's going to be so many more sniffles.
I'm trying to hold it together for the pod.
Do you need your emotional support poop?
Yeah, let me just stroke his little dingle. It's his antler.
Okay.
It also looks like a ding dong.
Yes.
Or as Tamara said, a poop.
Yeah.
Another poop on top of a poop.
Okay, so the other crew member had just called the base control tower.
And he was like, I don't know which way I'm going, and the ocean looks weird.
Yes. Everything looks strange, even the ocean. Ugh. After another 20-minute delay with no contact from any of the patrol members, there was a sudden, hysteric, unknown voice that radioed the tower. We cannot tell where we are. Everything is... Can't make out anything. We think we may be about 225 miles northeast
It's very specific.
of base. So the crew member then continues to incoherently mumble and ramble on for a few minutes, trying to make sense of the situation he was in. He then spoke the last words heard from Flight 19. Looks like we're entering white water. We're completely lost.
What the fuck is white
Then
water?
silence. I know. That's
Like white caps? Like waves?
I think so. Because the only other white water that I've...
Yeah,
I
like
think
white
it's
water
Yeah.
rapids.
Yeah. So, but that's not in the ocean. I don't know. But then there was silence. Officials scrambled together 2 PBM Mariner rescue planes with 13 crew members on each plane. They were headed to Flight 19's last known estimated position. They were expected to check in with Base Control Tower every 10 minutes, but after the first check-in, there was only communication back from one of the planes. No one could contact the second rescue plane, and they were never heard from again.
Bah, bah, bah.
Now, a 6th plane has gone missing. Coast Guard and the Navy are immediately called in to search for the 6 planes and 27 missing men.
27?
Mm-hmm.
How many dudes can you fit on a plane?
The PBM
I'm picturing-
Mariners were bigger planes.
Oh,
So
I'm
they had
picturing like the
13.
little like 2-seaters for like the war.
They had 13, but there was 14 other crew members between those 5 other planes in that like training thing they were doing. They searched by sea and air and turned up no results. They reported a calm blue sea, clear skies, and mild winds at 40 miles an hour. Could you imagine having to be the search crew that like went in? They're like, hey, these people disappeared, and then we sent out a search crew, and one of them also disappeared. Can you go search for them?
I would say, I'm going to retire. Have a nice day.
Yeah, I would say, I'm going shopping at Ulta. See you later. For 5 days, rescue teams searched over 250 square miles of ocean in the Gulf and Atlantic with no results. No flares, no oil slicks, no rafts, no wreckage or debris spotted.
Is it sad? Do you watch Bob's Burgers?
Yes.
Is it sad that when you said oil slick, I immediately started singing that song in my head? Oil slick, oil slick.
It just reminds me of the episode where they found the ambergris.
Not the same episode.
I know.
Good episode, though. I still need to finish. I still haven't caught up on Bob's Burgers.
I love Bob's Burgers.
I do too. It's a good family show.
It's like a good show that you could just watch whenever, like whatever episode. Doesn't matter.
Oh, yeah. Pick up and go.
The Navy Board of Inquiry held a lengthy investigation. Their report is summed up in 1/10 statement.
1/10. Oh, tenths?
Like tenths. Yes.
I thought you said 1/10 statement, and I was like, they only made 1/10 of a statement?
Yeah, it's not.
We here announce, and then nothing else.
We are not even able to make a good guess as to what happened.
That might as well be 1/10 of a statement.
Yep. So that's just a brief. That's just a brief.
A bleep.
Yeah.
A bleep. What's that?
Snorting. So that's just a brief synopsis. If you ever heard of this disappearance, that's the main story that you'll get. It is linked to the Bermuda Triangle.
I knew it.
Yep. And it's Bermuda, not Bermuda.
Who said Bermuda?
Me.
When?
My whole life.
Really?
I'm like, I know it's Bermuda, but
Bruh.
Bermuda is just
Bruh.
easier.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to get into the investigation.
Oh my God. Thank goodness. I thought we were done, and I was like, wow, that was so quick.
No, there's a lot more info, like communication with the crew, eyewitnesses, and it's a lot of information. So let's get into it, okay?
I'm so excited.
Prior to the flight, the 5 Avenger bombers had been run through a thorough pre-flight check. All of the fuel tanks were full and instruments were checked for accuracy. The training mission leader, Charles Taylor, had been late, and when he finally did arrive, he requested the training officer find another instructor. But his request was denied, and he was told there was no relief available. When he was asked why he didn't want to take the training flight, he simply stated that he did not want to take the flight.
Oh my God, do you think he had like a premonition?
No.
Oh.
But it is spooky.
Yeah, I mean, like, maybe he knew something?
I feel like it's something else. Well, I'll talk about that later.
Oh.
The Fort Lauderdale Naval Control Tower was not the only ones to have contact with Flight 19 while they were in distress. So this next section I'm going to quote. It's pretty long.
Quote.
But because it's like back and forward quotes and facts.
Do you want me to do like a low voice for the other quotes?
No, it's okay. Because it's more like one man's...
It's not a conversation.
It's one man stating what he heard. So he's like talking about someone else's quotes.
Gotcha.
So this is from a history.naval article that's linked. But just for some clarification, this is communication that was heard from a senior flight instructor. So Charles is not a senior flight instructor. He's just a flight instructor.
Right.
So this is communication that was heard from a senior flight instructor at the Fort Lauderdale base who was getting his crew ready for a training flight. So he was in his plane getting ready. They referred to each other by their call numbers. So Charles, his call number was FT28. Like
you're supposed to remember all these?
Foxtrot 28. And the other instructor on the ground at base was FT74.
Fuck that. 7-4.
Exactly. Thank you. That's so much easier. So we had 28 and 7-4. 28's missing. 7-4 is still at base getting ready. There's also a lot of officers in different ranks, like flight officer, flight instructor, like just so many. And it gets a little confusing, but like just bear with me.
I'm here.
Okay? So this is where it starts all the quotes. A senior flight instructor at the Fort Lauderdale base was joining up his squadron around the field when he heard what he assumed were either some boats or aircraft in distress. Quote, one man was transmitting on channel 4805 to Powers. And that was the name of one of his students.
Oh, okay.
So he is listening to someone talk to somebody else on a radio frequency to Powers. The voice asked Powers what his compass read a number of times, and finally Powers said, I don't know where we are. We must have gotten lost after that last turn. Upon hearing this, the senior flight instructor informed Fort Lauderdale that either a boat or some planes were lost. He then called, this is FT-74, plane or boat, calling Powers. Please identify yourself so someone can help you. No response, but a few moments later, the voice came on again, asking the others if there was any suggestions.
What?
As to like what to do.
Oh.
So like Lieutenant Charles was asking
They're like, what do we do?
the students if they had any suggestions. He's the instructor.
Okay. That's very scary.
Mm-hmm. FT-74 tried again, and the voice was identified as FT-28. FT-28, this is FT-74. What is your trouble? Both of my compasses are out, and I'm trying to find Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I'm over land, but it's broken. I'm sure I'm in the Keys, but I don't know how far down, and I don't know how to get to Fort Lauderdale.
Go north.
You, the directionally challenged person,
yes, I would get
already
lost.
figured that out, though.
Go north. Right, but if it's dark. It was dark, right?
Not yet.
Oh, so they could definitely see land.
The Keys, both compasses out.
But that's assuming they're actually over the Keys. What if they were like over the Bahamas or something?
Which is where they were supposed to be.
Right. So what if they were actually over the Bahamas? There's just ocean in all directions. Yeah. I think. I don't know.
Keys, both compasses out. FT-74 paused and then told 28 to, quote, put the sun on your port wing. Put the sun on your port wing.
Did you say wang? You did. That's why you chuckled.
Wing.
On your port wing.
If you are in the Keys and fly up the coast until you get to Miami, Fort Lauderdale is 20 minutes further. Your first port after Miami. The air station is directly on your left from the port. But FT-28 should have known if he was actually over the Keys. He had flown in that area for 6 months while stationed in Miami. He sounded rattled and confused. So, like, he should have known. Like, if you're in the Keys, like...
Was it stormy that day?
Scattered storms were reported.
Nothing
or, like,
crazy,
predicted.
though.
Yeah.
And it's not like they, like, cancel fucking flights and shit for, like, a little bit of rain.
No,
so,
they
like,
literally fly into storms.
Yeah.
Have you heard of the Jello theory with planes?
I don't know. Do I want to know?
Yeah.
Is it going to make me not like Jell-O?
No. I'll tell you about it later.
Great.
And everyone else, you can Google it.
Just waiting with suspense over here. Wow, the maniacal laughter.
What is your present altitude? I will fly south and meet you.
Who?
So this is the senior flight instructor talking.
He's just going to fly and meet them? That's so sweet.
You know. FT-28 replied, I know where I am now. I'm at 23,000 feet. Don't come after me. But FT-74 was not convinced. Roger, you're at 2,300. I'm coming to meet you anyhow. Minutes later, FT-28 called out again. We have just passed over a small island. We have no other land in sight. So how could he have run out of islands? How could he have missed the Florida Peninsula if he was in the Keys? FT-74 was beginning to have serious doubts. FT-28 came back on the air. Can you have Miami or someone turn on their radar gear and pick us up? We don't seem to be getting far. We were out on a navigation hop, and on the second leg, I thought we were going wrong, so I took over and was flying them back to the right position. But I'm sure now that neither one of my compasses is working. FT74 replied, "You can't expect to get here in 10 minutes. You have a 30 to 35 knot head or crosswind. Turn your emergency IFF gear, or do you have it on?" FT28 replied that he did not. I don't know what that is, but I'm assuming it should have been like common sense to turn this gear on.
It's probably something that they like.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
some
an emergency thing.
protocol or whatever.
Yeah. At 4:26, Air Sea Rescue Task Unit 4 at Fort Everglades heard FT28. So the Air Sea Rescue Task Unit, I'm just going to call them the rescue unit from now on because it's a very long word. I don't know if this is a boat or a plane.
Okay.
Or if it's neither. It just says Air Sea Rescue Task Unit.
It's both. They rescue
or
planes
neither.
from the sea.
Or neither. They're just a task unit. I don't know.
Okay. It's like the FBI. You never know.
Yeah. So the task unit at Fort Everglades heard FT28. "I am at Angels 3.5. Actually, is this Angels or Angles? Can you read it?
ANGEL or ANGLE?
EL.
That's angel.
Angel. That's what I thought. "I'm at Angels 3.5. Have on emergency IFF. Does anyone in the area have a radar screen that could pick us up?" The rescue unit rogered, and not having direction finding gear, contacted Fort Lauderdale, who replied that they would notify NAS Miami.
What's that?
I think it's the Naval Air something.
Naval
literally.
Airspace
Yeah, look at you, Miami.
Society. I don't know.
And ask other stations to attempt to pick up the lost flight on radar or with direction finders. In all, more than 20 land facilities were contacted to assist in the location of Flight 19. Merchant ships in the area were asked to be on the alert, and several Coast Guard vessels were told to prepare to be put to sea. But there were delays. Teletype communication with several locations was out, and radio fixes were hampered by static and interference from Cuban broadcast stations.
Okay.
So, at 16:28, the rescue task force called FT28 and suggested that another plane in the flight with a good compass take over the lead. F-28 rogered, but from fragmentary messages between the flight leader and the students concerning their estimated position and headings, it appears that no other plane took the lead at this time.
That would involve them finding them to take the lead.
No, so they have Lieutenant Charles. He's leading this group of 5 planes, and he's in one of the planes.
Oh, okay.
So they are on one radio frequency.
Okay.
And all these other people are tuning in to their radio frequency so they can hear their communication between each other, and they're also trying to communicate with Lieutenant Charles and help him. So they were listening to their conversation, and it had appeared that no other plane took the lead. Lieutenant Charles stayed in the lead. Meanwhile, FT-74 was having its own problems maintaining contact with the lost flight.
God damn it.
"Your transmissions are fading. Something is wrong. What is your altitude?" From far away, FT-28 called, "I'm at 4,500 feet. At this point, FT-74's transmitter went out, and he had no power to continue on the common frequency with the Lost Avengers.
So they went too high.
I guess. So, according to the senior instructor's later testimony, quote, "As his transmissions were fading, he must have been going away north as I headed south." So he's in Fort Lauderdale, and they're like, "Come save us. We're in the Keys," which is south. But he's like, the frequency got worse, so he must have been actually north.
He was going in the wrong direction.
Yeah. I believe at the time of his first transmission, he was either over the Bemines or Bahamas. I was about 40 miles south of Fort Lauderdale, and I couldn't hear him any longer. Did he remember any more? Yes, he recalled at 1600 at 4 o'clock. FT-28 had reported that he had a visibility of 10 to 12 miles. FT-74 further stated that while flying offshore at the time, he had observed a very rough sea covered with white caps and streamers. The surface winds were westerly, about 22 knots, and visibility was very good in all directions except directly west. Upon returning to Fort Lauderdale, FT-74 went to operations and related as much as he could remember of the conversations with FT-28 to the duty officer and requested permission to take the duty aircraft. Duty.
I was going to say that, and then I thought you'd make fun of me. My joke.
He requested permission to take the duty aircraft out to search for the flight. Receiving no answer, the pilot then made the same request to the flight officer, who replied, very definitely no.
What a dick.
So that's the end of the exact quote.
Oh my God, that was so long. I forgot we were still in a quote.
Yeah, it was just a lot of like testimony and quoting and facts from the investigation.
Mm-hmm.
So. Okay. The flight officer learned that Charles thought he was over the Keys, but he knew that was impossible due to earlier transmissions with Flight 19 while they were successfully running the practice bombs in the Bahamas. The location of Flight 19 was further confirmed to be in the Bahamas when a fishing boat captain reported spotting them after hearing the distress calls on the radio. There is no way these planes could have flown to the Keys by the time Charles makes his distress calls and stated he's now in the Keys. The flight officer is scrambling to help the crew. The rescue task unit was maintaining broken communication with Flight 19. So at this point, that task unit, they're really the only ones that are able to maintain that. The flight and operations officers were relaying messages for the rescue task to give to Charles, but the messages were either, the messages back from Charles were either vague or he just didn't respond. They were still able to hear the flight crew communicating with each other. Charles is heard telling the crew that they will fly north to make sure they are not over the Gulf of Mexico. So he's just lost. Like,
he's all over the place.
How did you...
That's like a whole ass different coast.
How did you miss all of Florida?
Yeah.
It's a big wang. That's all I get.
You know what's funny is I always call it America's Ding Dong because that's what we are, and we act like it. But the Panhandle, you know where that is? It's like way up north. But shouldn't we be the Panhandle? If you think about the country is the pan, we're the handle. Shouldn't the whole state of Florida be a panhandle?
Yeah. I mean, I get what you're saying. Yes.
Like, I feel like that looks more like a panhandle than fucking Jacksonville or whatever.
We're the panhandle of the United States.
But the state of Florida doesn't look like a pan.
None of the states look like a pan.
Then why is it called panhandle?
That's just a term referring to like anything that's sticking out like that.
That's a peninsula.
No, Florida is a peninsula.
I just don't understand why they call it a panhandle.
Is not a peninsula because it's touching other states.
I know, but it's like sticking out, whatever.
Your mom's sticking out.
You know what state never fails me with what it looks like?
Don't even.
Michigan.
R-E-L.
The Mitten. It's easy.
No
confusion there.
I don't know. It's kind of confusing. It's like literally two pieces of a state.
What other states are you talking about?
What other states have two separate pieces?
Alaska. Hawaii has several. You want to go again?
What continental state has two pieces?
Alaska.
Not continental.
I don't know what that means.
You know,
like it's on the continent?
Yeah, Alaska.
It's part of the
and
continent.
Hawaii are not part of the continental United States.
I don't know what that means.
Can we get back to the story?
No, I want to fight about this some more. Go on though. Whatever.
Then students are heard saying, "Damn it, if we could only fly west, we could get home." And head west, damn it.
Wait, the lost people are saying they need to head west.
Mm-hmm.
But they thought they were over the Gulf at this point.
Charles thought he was over the Gulf.
I think they need to fire Charles.
Yeah.
Sorry. Just blew right in the microphone. But like, what?
Part of the training for the students was If you're ever lost over the Bahamas, you
Just head
always
west?
fly west to
Why?
find land.
Never eat soggy watermelon. What if
you're
you're over the Pacific?
I said if you're over the Bahamas. That's their training.
But, like, to be fair, if you head in any direction, you'll find land eventually.
Right.
It's just a big circle.
It's true, as long as you have enough fuel.
A lot of islands out there.
So the students were all confused by Charles' orders. Charles is later heard saying that they will fly at 279 degrees until they hit land or run out of gas.
Hold on. Okay, so, like, that's
I
90.
I don't know.
270?
I
What
don't
the
think-
fuck?
I don't think it is referring to
360 is a circle.
I don't think it's referring to that.
Oh.
Something with like
Let me do the math. I'm just kidding.
The Vagitude and whatever.
Vagitude? I think he wants them to make a crash landing. That's what it sounds like. 206 degrees sounds like...
We don't know. We're not pilots. Officials were able to triangulate a 100-mile radius of Flight 19's location based on radio transmissions. Reports from this area were stating a bad change in the weather.
Oh, no.
Storms had began to churn the water, and heavy rain was giving them less and less visibility and turbulent skies. Around 6:30 that night, Charles says to his crew, "We'll have to ditch unless landfall. When the first plane dips below 10 gallons, we all go down together."
Like, crash it.
And that is what the most probable outcome was.
They suicide bombed themselves?
Yeah. The rough sea conditions and impact of a low visibility nighttime sea landing is believed to have destroyed all of the planes on impact. Which is so sad to think.
That is really sad.
That they just had to give up.
They were
And
students.
they knew what they were doing.
didn't know. I mean,
No.
maybe they thought that there would be a chance, but, like, why would he tell them that? There's no chance of surviving that if that's your intention. Like, you know,
I think
you could have tried to fly, like, lower and then get parallel to the water, right?
I don't think they would have been able to, but I think his thought was like, we're gonna run out of gas.
Better kill us here than crashing into someone's home.
We're not just gonna let like one plane go. We're gonna stick together. So no one knows why they continue to listen to Charles' commands.
Because he sounds real wrong.
When so many of the crew disagreed with him. But I think that's like military brainwashing.
Well,
like if one goes down, we all go down together.
Students. Like, I'm sure that they thought he wouldn't put them in harm's way.
I think they knew they were in harm's way, but they just were like, okay, we all go down together.
You don't think a single one of them would have been like, I ain't going out like this?
The sixth plane, the missing rescue plane, was believed to have exploded in air shortly after the last transmission 10 minutes into the flight. These planes were known as flying gas tanks because of all the known fuel issues.
It exploded in air?
A witness aboard the SS Gaines Mills tanker, so a tanker out in the ocean, came forward to report that he had seen an explosion in the air and a fire that went on for 10 minutes on the ocean. This was at the same time and place the rescue plane would have been when it went off communication. So that's what they believed happened to that plane.
Wow.
And then I wrote, that's my story. I'm going to sleep.
That's the end?
I could have continued to go on and go on and go on about this, but that was the investigation. They really don't know, but the most probable thing is that Charles got confused, thought he was in the Keys. They were really still over the Bahamas.
So he killed all those people because he was confused?
Mm-hmm. So when he thought he was in the Keys and flying north, he went even further north into the freaking Atlantic, that's just like barren ocean out there. It's nothing. And he was in the Bermuda Triangle. No. Honestly, what I think happened was that Charles was drunk.
Aliens. Oh.
There is an alien theory. There was actually
Why didn't you put that in your story?
I just couldn't go on any longer. It was so long. I'm going to Google the movie.
There's a movie about it?
Yeah. So, Close Encounters of a Third Kind.
That's a movie?
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was just like...
So that depicted Flight 19 as having been whisked away by flying saucers.
I'll pass.
I honestly, like, he was drunk. He got them in a bad situation. That's why he was late. That's why he got confused so easily. Like, it's simple. You can't get, like, the keys are here. The Bahamas are here.
Well, like, I can understand if there's, like, bad weather, but...
I think that, like, combined with the fact that their instruments started acting up just fucked them, and they eventually ran out of fuel and crash landed into the ocean.
What's up with that plane that exploded midair, though? That's
They were
fucking
just
weird.
They were just bad planes. They were flying gas tanks is what they called them, because they just had so many issues where they were exploding in midair. So
that's really scary.
Yeah. There were 13 people on that flight, the rescue one. Yeah.
That's redonkulous.
And like, there are a lot of theories and like a lot of different plane pieces that keep being found of like military planes from the 40s.
I was gonna ask, did they ever find any wreckage?
No, they've never.
None.
Anything they find,
6 planes
they think is attributed to this wreckage turns out to be something else
from like another wreck.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Truly is a mystery.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I have to get on a plane in like a month and a half.
Don't crash land into the ocean.
I'll try not to. I don't even know where we're going. Is there ocean where we're going?
How do you not know where
are
you're
we
going?
It starts with a P.
Philadelphia.
Or Pennsylvania. Pittsburgh.
All in the same area.
It is? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Is there an ocean over there?
Depends on how they fly, but you might fly over the ocean like that.
Would I rather crash into the ocean or on land? I could be like Julianne Kopke.
Please do not bring that accent.
What
I hate
accent?
that accent.
What accent? I was just trying to pronounce
Your
her name.
Cape Cod accent.
I was just trying to pronounce her name. I just can't remember. I think it's Koepke? Koopke? Koab? There it is. Sorry. I can't stop myself.
Okay. So, everyone be careful when you're flying planes later.
Yeah, for all of those pilots out there listening, don't do that.
Listen. Pilots are dumb.
Wow. For all those pilots out there listening, sorry for my friend. She's really rude sometimes.
Yeah.
Pilots are dumb. You have to be really smart to take those classes. I think.
You don't.
You have to at least know directions. I don't.
I guess that's true.
Basic geography.
You have to be able to read and write.
I feel like you should have to know some sort of physics.
I don't think so.
Well, obviously we're not scientists.
Have you heard of that thing where, like, you ask a man, like, if you're on a plane and the pilot dies, do you think you could safely land the plane? And, like, how many men are like, yeah, definitely.
From watching movies.
So I tried it on my husband. He was like, yeah.
Yeah, but knowing your husband, he probably
stupid.
fucking downloaded the Microsoft Flight Simulator.
He did have the flight simulator. And
so, like,
but
a lot of men
okay,
do.
no.
Like, my brother-in-law, absolutely. He'd be like, yeah, I can find that plane. You just gotta push this button, this button. What kind of plane is it? It's an FC-17, blah, 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 with a 17-inch fuel tank. I got this. This is how he looks. Sorry. Such a know-it-all.
No, in reality, they'd be like, I have to poop.
I'm peeing my pants.
They can't even get the cockpit door open.
They're just still giggling outside the door, saying, cock. Guys, I'm going into the cockpit.
God, men are stupid. Okay.
I mean, we kind of are too.
Yeah, and I
It's
fully
a
admit
human
that.
condition. Talking
All
about
right.
genders.
All right, friends. Have a great week. Don't do anything I wouldn't do.
Don't fly into the ocean. For sure.
Yeah.
Don't even get on a plane. Don't even look at a plane.
Mm-hmm. You hear that, Sierra?
Don't even look at a picture of a plane.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Sierra. Where's she going?
It's just, where she works.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't do it. Does she
Yeah.
still listen?
Yeah, she better.
Sierra.
It's a test. Actually, I know she listens because when we post them late, she's like, where's your episode? What am I supposed to do with that?
My sister-in-law does that too. And I'm like, oh my God, my only 2 fans.
I feel so loved.
know. They're going to be real sad when you're on maternity leave.
Like I said, will probably need a break.
That's fine by me. At which point she said, you don't need a break, Rell.
You don't need a break?
Yeah, you said that to me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, what do you need a break from?
Life?
Yeah, this is the break from life.
No, it's not. This is full force life.
For me, this is the break from life.
Oh, well, that's nice.
You know what I want to do tomorrow? Wake up in an empty house.
That would be nice.
I want to look over.
You know what you should do? You still have that tent? Oh, no, you got rid of the tent.
Yeah.
I was going to say set it up in your backyard. Have a little camp out by yourself.
It's very hot.
Set up a fan in there.
I want to look over to the other side of the bed, and instead of my husband, breakfast.
Did you tell him that that's like one of your fantasies? I mean, he could make it happen. It's pretty easy. Just tell him, like, hey, okay, your anniversary's over. Whose birthday's next? Not yours. When's his birthday?
His, not until March.
God, you both are spring babies.
Mm-hmm. And both of our kids are now.
Okay, well, I guess you're shit out of luck till Christmas.
I get what I want.
You could just use that pregnancy guilt.
Mm-hmm.
Please, my feet are so swollen. Just like put some eggs on my titties. He just like brings the pan over and dumps it on you.
I can't have runny eggs.
Ew. I was just thinking like scrambled eggs.
I know, but I made a pregnancy joke because, you know, you can't eat runny eggs when you're pregnant.
You can't? Why?
You can't eat anything undercooked.
I mean, it's cooked enough. Oh, God.
Yeah.
You can't even eat a medium well burger.
Mm-mm.
Wow.
I know.
Enjoy your leather.
Oh, I will.
All right, friends. Ugh. I don't like it. I did it once last week. Still doesn't sound right.
Rate, review, subscribe, and send your crazy emails to
fearfulfriendspodcast@gmail.com.
Bye, friends.
Bye.